Welcome to all my viewers. Welcome to my channel, Rider Robin. So, after a very long time, I'm coming up with a ownership review video of my 2023 Bullet 350. So, I'm roughly about 60 to 70 kilometers from my home. So, this place is called Uttari Durga. As you can see, there's a nice hillock behind me. Actually, I'm on the climb towards this hill and thought it was a good spot for me to do the review. I could not find a better spot because it's very sunny and hot in Bangalore at the moment. We are in early March now and it's getting very hot. I noticed a few places as I was coming by, the places I had visited sometime in January, and these were water bodies that were at least 10 to 12 feet deep. Now I don't see those water bodies at all, so you can imagine how hot it is getting in Bangalore. So yeah, I've ridden roughly about 3000 kilometers, 3000 plus on this bike, and I thought what a good time to start the review. So before we do the review, let me just uh, start with like a prologue to this, um, in the sense like how I got this bike for myself, how I zeroed down on this one. So as you all know, as most of you know from my previous videos, I had mentioned about my classic 500 bike, which I had ridden for almost 6 years, and I had to sell it during the COVID period because I was not able to ride it that much. It was a high maintenance bike, one of the reasons I had to sell it. So my priorities changed then, and now after 8 years, I thought, why not relive the riding time and just you know get relief from any kind of stress, right? Because I see bike as a stress reliever for myself, and Classic 500 served me that purpose, and I had a good run with that. Did a couple of long trips to Goa, and then a numerous number of long trips to other places in Karnataka and even Tamil Nadu. So this bike is a stress reliever for me, mostly a weekend ride. So I don't use this bike to commute to office, or generally sometimes if I want to travel in the city, very rarely I do take it out, but other than that, this is just for long rides. So in 2023, I had narrowed down to, I wanted to go to the sports bike section, and I thought like, I wanted something like a sports tourer. So at that point of time, sometime in August, September, October, as you all know, Hero had thought of relaunching the Charisma brand. So I had seen the initial reviews of this bike before the launch on YouTube, and I was very impressed by its design and its riding position and all that. And it was even branded as a sports tourer at that time. So, uh, so I went ahead and booked one bike in the nearest showroom. I think it was in the month of September I booked that bike, and the waiting period that was promised was 1 month. So they were supposed to give me the bike, I think on October 2nd week. By October 2nd week, it was promised as October 1st week, but then it got delayed by one more week, saying like they would deliver me that bike by October 2nd week. That the bike could come in the second week of October, but even until October 20th, no call came from the salespeople. So when I turned up to the showroom, their attitude was also not good. So they were like, no, we don't have any information about your bike. We don't know when it's going to come. So plus when I went to the showroom, they already had a display bike in their showroom, and they didn't even bother to inform me that the display bike is there and you can just come and take a look at it. So I had to just cancel, taking that bike because they had no clue when my bike is going to come, and I was in a desperate need of a bike at the time. So I thought, okay, let me go to the Royal Enfield showroom and start checking out if there is any bike that suits my requirement. Because I went to my nearby showroom, and there I saw there was this 2023 Bullet uh, at the showroom at display. It was a black and black base model plus the top model. What is that called? Black Gold or something. So when I looked at the bike, I thought, okay, let me take a test ride of it because I liked the dimensions of the bike. I said, okay, give me a test ride, and they immediately arranged for a test ride of the bike. It was some sort of a wine color, maroon wine color kind of a bike with all the standard bullet stripes and all that. And I took a test ride, and I liked it. I felt it didn't have much power, but for 0 to 80, I felt the torque was adequate enough. So I said, let me go for this because I'm instantly liking it. Plus, I like the seat comfort. So I said, okay, let me book that bike, and I instantly booked it. And within a week, I got the bike. So I booked the base model because I didn't want to. My budget was somewhere 1,73,000 because ex showroom price, which on road comes up to 2,14 something on road with insurance and stuff. So that was my budget, and the Charisma that I had booked was around that price, introductory price. So I didn't want to exceed my budget above that. And the Bullet standard, sorry, the base version, is called the military, right? This was available at that ex showroom price, same price as the Charisma. So I booked it. I got the bike delivered within a week, and so that's the background how I ended up with the Bullet 350. So without any further ado, let's start the review of this bike, my ownership experience. So first, let's start about talking about the design of this bike. As you can see, it's a complete retro design with round headlamps, big mudguards, big front shockers, and a big single-cylinder 350cc engine, 349cc to be exact. And you can see there is a small toolbox, kind of a square box, where I have pasted the Royal Enfield made like a gun sticker, and then there is the air filter box where we have the Bullet 350 embossed logo. And then you can see the big seat, large seat. This is the speciality of the Bullet 350. This big long seat with a thick cushion. So this basically adds on to the comfort that is known with this bike. It's a great seat with a lot of cushion uh, and a lot of comfort while riding this bike. So next, even we move on to the side of the bike. You can ignore the pannier. We'll speak about the pannier or the side box later because I fitted that as an accessory. So if we go to the back of the bike, you can see there is the tail section, and here I feel the Royal Enfield Bullet enthusiasts would be a little disappointed because they have changed the okay, so they have changed the tail section from that box tail lamp box design kind of tail lamp to the classic tail lamp, which is same. So now the Bullet and the Classic looks almost the same from behind. So there is very little difference to differentiate from the back side between the Bullet and the Classic. So let's move on to the right hand side. Here you can see the long silencer, which is very much noticeable on the right hand side when you look at it. The long silencer, bottle silencer, stock silencer, and you can just check the finish of this silencer. It looks very neat, and you can see the rear shocker as well. It's a spring based suspension, it's not a gas charged shock absorber, but comfort wise it does really good. And again, here you have the Bullet 350 embossed on the right hand side also, and this box houses the battery and the ECU. of this bike. So this is an electronic fuel injected bike. So you will have the ECU inside along with the battery inside that box, and then you have another kind of a utility box kind of a design where I have pasted the Holy Cross and the Holy Spirit picture. So then you have the huge tank, bullet tank. So this bullet tank, it's a little different in design. It is not the exact tear shaped like what you get on the classic bikes. This looks a little bulky. Let me just show you from this angle, top angle. You can see the width of the tank is quite big. So the total fuel capacity is 13 liters, but I felt the tank is pretty big compared to the classic bike. And then you can see the side guard that I have put as an accessory, and even the engine sump guard, which basically protects the bike from any kind of debris that goes from the front tire and hits the underneath of the engine, right? So that cover serves as a protection for that. And then coming to the front, you can see the huge round headlamp with the mudguard, huge mudguard, and I don't know the tire size. I think it's 19-inch tires. Yeah, it's 19-inch in the front, 100 by 90, 19-inch, and these are C8 tires, and I think it's 18-inch the rear, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's 18-inch, 120 by 80. So the difference from the older Bullet to the newer one is the tires have gotten really wide. The older Bullets had a kind of very thin tires, especially at the rear. So they say like with the broader tires, it adds on to the better road grip and stuff like that, and more stability. So that is the overall design of this bike. It's all halogen lights, halogen headlight, halogen indicators. Then you have the, if you look at the headlight, you have something called as the Tiger Eyes, the signature, what do you call, the parking lights for the Bullet. Uh, and then you have, what else? Looking at the meter console, looks very retro and classy. From the looks, I like the Bullet's meter console better than the classic one. Looks more retro, and this one is kind of dummy. They say you can additionally add a trip meter to it, but I don't want to have a trip meter because I felt there's no much use, because I'm using Google Maps using a holder here, phone holder, so I don't need a trip meter. So you can see instead of trip meter there is the Bullet 350 logo, and this is the ignition switch off on, and here you have the engine kill switch, which is integrated with the ignition switch or the starter motor. And then you have the hazard lamps, and then we have the headlight dim and dip, and the pass light, and then the indicators, and then you have the horn here. So yeah, the mirrors are kind of okay. The rear view mirrors, it serves the purpose for which it is designed. And coming to the base model, right, this is the starting uh, variant in the Bullet 350 2023. It's called military red. There is one more color available, military black. So I like the military red more. It was my wife's choice. She suggested me this color, and boy, I was glad to see it in flesh. This looks a lot better than what you are able to see on the video, the red and black combination. And you have front tires. You have that huge disc brake. I think it's 240 mm or 260 mm. I'm not sure. Those are brake calipers, and this is a single channel ABS bike. And you can see there is the chain is on the left hand side of this bike. Uh, you can see this is the chain cover. I think this can be removed, and the chain sprocket near the engine also can be cleaned. So this is all with respect to the design. Yeah, this is the gear lever. It's a 5-speed gearbox. And what else? Yeah, that's all about the design of this bike.
Riding a bullet gives you the feeling of a king. The first few months of riding, I felt it was a very big bike and it demanded a lot of respect. It took me some time to get adjusted to its wide stance and upright seating posture, and I did a lot of short rides until first 2000 kilometers to give the engine a proper run. I enjoyed all the rides I did on the Bullet, and I see it as one of the most comfortable saddles to be on that is available in the market today. And I do not think any other bike seat comes even close to the comfort level of the Bullet. In Bangalore traffic, even in the most comfortable bike, it is still irritating to ride. The fact that people do not care about lane discipline and do not follow any traffic rules is the most disappointing aspect of riding in Bangalore. To enjoy the Bullet, I had to ride in the early morning hours or late night hours of city traffic. The Bullet can easily manage the city traffic speed limits of 40 to 50 kilometers per hour and does not break a sweat. The gear shifts are precise and the clutch does not feel very heavy, just about perfect. After riding in moderate city traffic, there is no fatigue in my hands. I feel the first three gears are perfectly tuned for city riding on the Bullet. On the highways, you need to get used to the tuning of the fourth and fifth gears on the Bullet. It took me some time to understand the way it is tuned, and I felt a little confused in the first 1 month of its riding with its gearing ratio. But once you understand the tuning of the gears, there is no denying it can cruise comfortably on fifth gear from 60 kilometers per hour all the way up to 80 to 90 kilometers. The sweet part of the Bullet on highways is you do not have to downshift from top gear to the fourth until you reach about 50 kilometers per hour. This is where the Bullet thump is the best when you pull in fifth from 50 kilometers all the way up to 80. The bike is stable on the highways as well as slow city rides, and the seat is very comfortable. The suspension, although a little stiff on the rear, it is perfectly tuned for high speed stability. The bike never feels unsettled on any unexpected pothole or speed breakers, and it maintains its position. The interesting part is the front shock absorber. So this absorbs any kind of a pothole and it behaves just like a SUV. You don't feel any kind of bumps or any shocks coming over to your handlebar. The Bullet versus Classic design is very subjective. Royal Enfield has managed to maintain 80 to 90% of the retro look of the Bullet in the 2023 model. For a purist who has owned a Bullet before, this may not be the bike and he may prefer Classic over Bullet. Also, the Bullet weight distribution is not as even as the Classic, and the younger generation may feel more comfortable with the Classic ergonomics. I think the Bullet is for someone who wants a pure, comfortable ride. with lesser gear shifts and who is not keen on breaking any speed limits set in India. The youth can very well look towards the Hunter or Classic 350.